It shows the size of the breaker or the fuse needed and what it operates. To open up your breaker panel, simply press in the one end and pop out the other. And you'll want to make sure that all of your breakers are in the on position so that everything will come on when you're using your trailer. To open the fuse panel, again press in on one end and pry open the other. And then you can take a standard needle nose pliers to pull out any fuse that you may need to. If you need to replace a fuse, check the owner's manual sheet to make sure you get the right size amperage. For instance, this one is a 15, which is blue, and there's a couple other ones in there, like a 3 amp pink and a 30 amp green. Now if a breaker is tripped, you'll notice that it's about halfway in and out. What you'll want to do is turn it to off position and then turn it back on. For safety's sake, if a fuse blows twice or breaker trips twice and it's not apparent why it happened, you'll probably want to contact your dealer to check it out. There are 2 points of power that make the 12 volt side of the fuse panel work. One is the battery and the other is the converter, also known as the charger. Now the charger produces 12 volt power from the 110 power coming into the unit. Now for the converter to work like this one, the on-off switch for the unit must be in the on position. Now that will recharge the batteries along with running all of the lights and the 12 volt components in the unit. Should you have a problem that you need to check the fuses, on the end of the converter are 2 30 amp fuses. Now sometimes it seems like there are a lot of fuses and breakers that you have to be concerned about, but they're all there for your safety. If you have a situation where you need to replace them, do so with the same size fuse or breaker. If you've got a situation where you just don't know what to do and you need some help, contact your dealer. If your unit is equipped with a generator, the generator switch will be located somewhere in the unit. To start the unit, simply press the switch and hold until you hear the generator running. To turn off the generator, press the same switch and it will die immediately. For further maintenance and operation instructions, you'll need to check your owner's manual. Different models have different air conditioner and furnace combinations. This unit has a furnace and the thermostat is right here. Now to turn the unit to on, you simply move the top knob to the right and you can set it in the zone and the comfort that you want. And the furnace will run just like the one at home, turning off and turning on according to this thermostat. To turn it off, just move it to the left. If your unit has an air conditioner, on top they're all pretty much the same. However, there are several different styles and ways to turn the air conditioner on. Now this unit has a thermostatically controlled on and off switch, and right now it's in the off position, and if I move it up 1 notch, that's for the fan, and if I move it up 2 notches, then it will start to cool. You can make it colder in the unit by just sliding the bar down, and the air conditioner will take care of the rest. Now if you need to take the edge off of a cool night, the unit also has a heat strip in it. To turn the heat strip on, turn it back to off, and then down 1 notch to heat, and then slide the thermostat up to the comfort range that you'd like. Your dinette makes into a bed, and we're going to show you how quickly and easily that can happen. In your RV bathroom, the sink and the shower work very similar to the ones you have at home. However, the toilet works just a little different. Let's take a look. Now you'll notice it has 2 pedals. The one on the right fills the basin with water, and the one on the left flushes it into the septic tank. That's as simple as it gets. Right now we're at the pump, monitor, and water heater switch. The water heater is a self-ignite water heater turned on by turning the switch in down position into the on position, and this red light will come on showing that it's starting to work the process. At the water heater area, you'll hear some igniting or some sparking for the igniter to start the water heater. Now when it works properly, as that has done, the water heater is working and the light will go off. Now to turn it off, just simply turn it in the off position. The water pump, which is pretty self-explanatory, on, off. And the pump, which is a demand pump, comes on automatically if this switch is in the on position when you need it. To test your tanks and your battery, push this little switch on the left, and right now the freshwater tank is showing a third, the holding tank is showing a third, the gray water tank is 2/3 full, and the batteries are showing good. I'd like to take a moment and talk to you about your water heater. On the outside of the unit, this is what your water heater looks like. And just a couple of things. Under this black plate is an automatic reset. Now that might be popped out if the water heater overheats. That might occur if you run the heater without water in it. It's not dangerous, but it's not something you want to do. If you push this back in, it will reset it and you can start the unit again. There are two ways to get fresh water into your unit for use. The first is to put it directly into the tank. Now when you use the tank, you'll have to turn the pump on the inside. To fill the tank, put your garden hose into the holder, go turn your spigot on, and when it's full, water will come out both the filler and the vent hose. When it's full, take your hose out, screw your cap back on. The second is what they call a city water hookup. That means from a spigot at the campground, you're going to hook the garden hose directly to the unit. Put it on there snug. You can turn your spigot on now. This will bypass the pump on the inside, so you won't need to keep that on. Now one thing you'll want to maybe purchase is a regulator to assure that the pressure coming from the campsite is not too great or makes the water flow too fast through like the water heater or your faucets. From time to time, you're going to find it necessary to dump those wastewater holding tanks. The first thing you need to get is your septic hose. You'll find that in the hose holder tube right underneath the front of the unit. To remove the hose, turn the lid counterclockwise, reach in, pull the hose out slowly, then you're ready to go to the holding tanks. There are two holding tanks for each unit. The first, the sewage holding tank, which is for the toilet, and the other, the wastewater holding tank, which is for the sink and the shower. Now it's not the most popular job, so get on the gloves and let's get to it. To attach the dump hose to the termination, you'll have to remove the travel cap, push the dump hose onto the termination and turn it, and give it a little wiggle to make sure it's on there, and then you can pull this lever. The water will come out. Now I suggest you dump the wastewater holding tank after the septic holding tank so that it somewhat flushes out the inside of that hose. Put the cap back on and you're done. Really wasn't that bad now, was it? Some of the appliances in the unit will be LP gas operated. Because of this, I'd like to show you how to change your tanks out. We use a 20-pound LP gas cylinder like this one. They're available at most gas stations, and they have a very convenient exchange program. So let's get started on changing those tanks. When you change your tank, the first thing you'll want to do is check your regulator switch. This one is in the up position, and the first thing we want to do is turn it away from the tank that we're going to change. Now, after we've switched that away and you've tightened up the tank valve on the very top, you can loosen the green attachment. On the top of the tanks is a large butterfly nut, and we're going to loosen that up, and usually about 1 inch is enough. Then there will be a crossbar in here holding both tanks down, lifting that up out of the way. And then to put the tanks back on, you pretty much reverse the process.